ever been to a professional drag race? It's a visceral experience. You taste burning rubber. Your eyes water from the nitromethane fumes. And then there's the sound. They're called funny cars, even though there's really nothing funny about them. They explode from 0 to over 300 miles an hour in just 4 seconds. That's what 8,000 horsepower will do. But no one
You're gonna have fun today.
has as high octane a presence in the sport
Okay, now look in that camera.
as this man.
Who's your favorite driver?
John Ford!
Way to go, girl.
At 65, John Force is still the man to beat.
That's called a selfie. How old are you?
He's a legend who's won more funny car championships,
Okay.
16 of them,
Hey, good old days.
than any other drag racer in history.
You're not a good driver, man. You're the best.
I do okay. My office is right in the seat of that car. And once I get in there, an old guy like me gets young again.
Yeah.
This fire suit makes me Superman. Not really, but I believe I am.
Force does seem invincible. At the National Hot Rod Association's race near Seattle recently, that Castro Ford of his blew the tires off all the younger drivers.
I just not smart enough to quit. I should have quit 20 years ago, but I'm still really good at what I do.
So do you ever think about retiring?
No, I don't want to go home. I got a big old house I ought to go set in. Don't care about it. This is my house. This is where I live.
This is one of the very early ones.
Oh boy, this was poverty days. But this car was the first funny car that I drove.
Wow.
As a business.
So
And,
there's nothing in here though. I mean, you're sitting.
no protection.
We met him at his team's headquarters in Yorba Linda, California.
I mean, you're straddling the transmission, for God's sake.
It's scary to put that much horsepower between your legs.
It's a glistening complex where almost every memory has a set of tires.
We did it for the food. There was very little pay.
But out of all his treasures, the wall of fame that means the most
Oh, look at this. Is that a trophy? She was a little
is
tiny.
actually this one.
That's Ashley with her mama. Isn't her mama beautiful?
For a man with motor oil for blood, it's not surprising that racing is a family affair. But what may surprise you is just how much his love of driving rubbed off on his daughters.
I think he wanted boys to be a race car driver, but he ended up with 3 girls that ended up being race car drivers.
Super comp dragster. That's what Ashley, Brittany, and Courtney started in.
All on that.
That car goes 160 miles an hour.
Courtney, Ashley, and Brittany Force are like the Von Trapps of the racing world. This is no gimmick. They're serious competitors. Courtney, who was already turning heads for appearing on the cover of the ESPN Body Issue, turned even more heads this year when she broke the record for the most all-time funny car wins by a woman. The record she broke, by the way, was set by her older sister.
History! Ashley Ford!
And then there's Brittany.
I actually went to school to be a teacher and didn't end up going down that path. But the great thing is I still go to work with kids out here.
Good luck.
She's racing a different kind of car, something even faster than her sister's.
When I got in that seat, I was hooked. I wanted more of it. I wanted to get back in it and keep making runs.
Did you sense they had that gene?
You know, they always say it's in the gene. I don't know if that's true.
The car doesn't know who's driving it. You have to have the strength and the passion and the love to drive the car and get it down the racetrack. Not just anybody can do that.
Racing in their father's shadow has been the easy part. It was living without him that was tough. By definition, a race car driver's life is a life on the road. And early on, John was on the road a lot. Listen to what happened when he was finally home.
I walked in the back of the room. My family was up front. I looked up, I see this beautiful dark-haired girl on the stage, and she starts singing. And then I recognized the song. It was Ashley.
But you didn't know it was her.
No.
Just because you'd been gone so much?
And the most beautiful voice on that stage. And she was so proud to see me when she came off. I missed it. Courtney.
You look like Justin Bieber.
These days, he doesn't have to race home to them because he's racing with them.
Watch this.
Oh my God. Dad, that is not even.
Now you have bangs.
Now even it. I won't have
As a
bangs
family,
like
they're as goofy as they are fast.
Put your hat on.
Honey.
Dad, your hair's gonna be all in my fire suit.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
You're supposed to be catching the hair.
On this day, John was trying to figure out a way to keep the hair out of his eyes.
Cut your
See
ear.
it sticking out?
Yes.
Cut it.
Just moments before a race.
This could be the best haircut I've ever had.
Certainly the cheapest.
Yeah.
But a family that races together races against each other too.
Your dad is right over there. He's about to warm up. Do you guys talk?
You
Do
know,
you
it's
psych
funny.
each other out?
I try to psych him out if I do have to race him, yes. I mean, I gotta do whatever it takes.
I'm so caught up in that cockpit of that car that sometimes I forget who I'm racing, because that's what you have to do. You got to be on kill. That guy over there's got to be a monster, and you got to hate him, and you got to beat him, and if it's your daughter, you got to hate her.
Do you feel guilty about wanting to beat them?
I do. I love my children. I would give my life for them. Right now. There'd be no discussion. But
When it comes to racing.
I'm driven to win. And if I ever change that, I won't know how to win. So make sure that ain't the pumps.
Now, that might sound harsh, but John Force seemed to us anyway,
Good luck to you.
as worried as any father. He prays before every race for his safety,
Amen.
but especially theirs.
Angels all around us.
Right.
If I lost a girl, I can't even talk about it. I don't allow myself to talk about it. If I lost a girl, I couldn't handle it.
If he's not in the lane beside them racing,
16-time champion John Force comes to the starting line to watch his daughter Brittany.
he's teaching.
I told my girls when they were first starting to drive, I said, there's a monster out there. And sometimes he's on fire. And the only one that can save you is you.
In 2007, that monster took a friend and teammate, Eric Medlin. Force was devastated. And then, 6 months later, it was his turn.
The car broke completely in half. The motor and front wheel went that way, and I was sitting with no protection, with my arms and legs hanging out.
At 300 miles an hour.
Yeah, 320.
Ashley was at the track.
And there was just debris everywhere, all up the track. I didn't know where to go to look for him. It was a horrifying moment.
Courtney and Brittany were at home.
The first thing that comes up on the screen is John Force airlifted to hospital. It just shows a helicopter. That's it.
I remember she screamed my name, and I knew instantly, just the way she said it, something was really wrong.
It took months of surgeries and skin grafts to put him back together. And when he was whole again, he was a changed man. Sort of.
No, I'd be at the swimming pool, they'd be out there swimming, I'd be over there on that cell phone. Just being about as dumb as a person could be. So not anymore.
That little boy he's holding is Ashley's, her second. She's taking time off from drag racing to be a mom, while John is concentrating on spending more time as a grandpa.
I need every minute with them I can get, because you never know. I lived it. Tomorrow you could be gone.
Yet for a man who started out broke, building race cars out of junkyard parts, to now, where he's chasing an unprecedented 17th championship, slowing down just isn't in his DNA.
Does it ever get old?
Now, can you imagine if you were wrestling a lion every day of your life in a cage at a circus? You think it'd ever get old? No. It gets scary, but it's survival.
And surviving is what the Force family does, 4 seconds at a time.